Hello everybody, welcome to another reading. Today I thought I would take a look if I could get a reading on the election results of this year, 2020. Now, I have to preface this by saying I am not a US citizen, so I won't be voting for either, so there's no use asking who I'm going to vote for because I'm not going to vote for this, obviously. Other things, I'm an amateur reader, like I said in my previous video. If you have other explanations for the way that the cards come out, please post them in the comment section below. I'm just going to read the cards as I see them. I read intuitively, and today I was going to actually put a couple of cards down in one go rather than just doing them one by one like I usually do. I shuffle the deck live, and then when a card falls out, I like show it and then talk about that and then move on to the next one. But I'm going to put like a bunch down and then we'll see the total story. This deck, by the way, is the Urban Tarot deck if you wanted to get it yourself. It's like a modern version of the deck. It has a lot of very modern imagery in it as well. And the deck that I'll be using for clarifying anything that is mysterious to me is the Renaissance deck. I don't have a box for that, but it has these metallic pictures on it. Okay, so with that out of the way, hope you'll enjoy it and let me know what you thought about it. Let's get started. I'm going to start shuffling this deck and then we'll see what we get. Whole bunch in one go. Good. I'm just going to put them down and we'll talk about them later. Oh, I see I need to move them over here. There we go. Great. Oops. Will this fit? Good question. Alright. Unreversed. Full reversed. Okay. Already seeing some interesting things going on. Either way, let's go. Okay, I think I got enough for this round. Let's do a show and tell round over here. We have the Two of Cups called Love. As you can see, a couple people there with their mobile devices and having a drink at what I think is this universe's version of Starbucks. This is basically the Lover's card. And then the Two of Cups version. We have here a reverse Nine of Swords. Normally Nine of Swords is like a anxiety thing. It's more of an internal anxiety. I think a lot of people are going to have some internal anxiety, sleepless nights, etc. Not entirely unusual. Here we have the Fool reverse, so we're not taking careless actions. All right. Here we have the Five of Wands, which is an internal conflict as far as I can read that. Of course, we're going to read it all together in a moment, but first we're going to take a look at what we have individually. Then we have the Sun reversed. Okay, so that's lacking joy and spontaneity. Here we have the Eight of Swords, also reversed. Okay, that's a lot of reversed actually. Then Four of Pentacles upright. That's like really managing the money and being right on top of the expenses, stuff like that. Also possibly making sure to receive a lot of money. As you can see, it's a really big building there with a lot of big coins on it. Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. It's like some troubled feelings. Knights are usually a bit more, they're like the adolescents, almost adults, I guess, of the tarot deck. Although in this deck, I have to say, they replaced the kings, because in the Urban Tarot, you have knight, princess, prince, queen, and that's it, because there's no kings. It's like based on the Thoth Tarot from Aleister Crowley, at least the setup, not the actual deck itself. So in this deck, the knight is the most masculine representation that you get per suit. So I guess it's the most masculine version of the Cups version, so somebody who is at least on the outside emotionally very much aware and available. But since it's reversed, I think that might be manipulation. A big shocker, we're talking politics. But I'm just saying, you know, there's going to be a lot of that. And then we have here the Five of Cups. Looks like it. Yep, Five of Cups. And that's the crying over spilled milk. And in this case, reversed as well. I'm seeing a lot of things here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But okay. Next is the Knight of Swords. So this is, in this deck, basically King of Swords. And he's also representing lying and deceit, manipulation, and speaking something other than truth. Okay, Ace of Wands also reversed. Now, Ace of Wands is the first card that I'm thinking, okay, here's an actual result, at least from my point of view, because a lot of these cards is like standard politics of people lying, people pretending that they're better than they are, people managing their money, etc., other people being worried. This is more of opportunities lost, because the wands are like actions, new opportunities, new goals, etc. And reversed, that's like the opposite of that. So things that people may have wanted to start achieving, I'm seeing that they are not going to be achieved, or at least they're going to have a worse start than they could have. Here we have the Princess of Discs. So the princesses in this deck are basically the pages, where the knights are the kings, the princes are the knights, and the princesses are the pages. So this is basically page of, what is it? Pentacles. Okay, so that's like spending, foolish spending, I would say. It's upright, or is it not? No, I'm holding it like this. Is that, how did I pick it up? Like this, okay. So Princess of Pentacles, in this case, I would say foolish spending, spending for the sake of spending, spending on things that could have like done without, not spending on things that could have been better spent on. So that's financial mismanagement, which is interesting because we also have like somebody who is really on top of the money. So it could be intentionally misspending. I don't think you guys can see that card over there. So intentionally misspending money, funds being directed to places where they don't need to be, type of thing. So I'm gonna move some things around because I see that's not all on camera. We're gonna move these guys over here, and then we're gonna stick this guy in between. All right, so like I said, there's a lot of cards here that just spell out there's gonna be not a lot of manipulation, if I could say it, a lot of internal conflict with certain people, and the Fool over here, basically the Fool in reverse is saying there might be people who are acting the fool, but they're really not. They're really doing everything according to a certain plan. And I think it's also kind of like a warning to make sure that you are also not being the fool, that you are doing everything that you can to make the best, most informed choices. Like up here, there's this guy standing on the edge thinking, what would happen if I were to jump off of it? And you should be the opposite. You should think very carefully about what you're going to do next. A lot of people think that they do, but they are often very much ruled by emotions, and that's these cards right here. I think these two next to each other, at least to me, say you're worried, or people in general are worried about who to choose, what the outcome's going to be, and maybe this is also post-election, like worried what's going to happen next. But over here we have the Lovers card, and I think that's like the charm offensive, if you know what I mean. Like they're really trying to look as charming as possible. So far we're not seeing anything about who it's going to be, but it does look like a great disappointment for people. But as oh, here we go. Crying over spilled milk is one of those cards. This, I think, is an after the fact type of card over here, like crying over spilled milk. You're not going to like the results, but we're going to have to deal with it because the result is the result, and you can't go back and vote a second time. You'll have to wait another 4 years and see if you can vote then, because nothing's guaranteed these days. Okay, so that's a fairly generic story so far. The only thing really is here the lost opportunities. We got over here the Sun, reverse, like the joyful. The joy is basically gone or going. I think if you look at these two together, and then the election result is going to be people are going to be very disappointed, but don't stick in that disappointment. Like, you gotta move on, you're gonna have to deal with the cards that you're dealt, and that's just gonna have to be the fact of the matter. Now, as far as results go, we don't actually see anybody in particular, so I'm gonna grab the Renaissance deck over here, And we're gonna see if we can get anything about what we're gonna actually see, who we're gonna see, if we get any hints about that. So who are we seeing as a victor for elections 2020? Whoops, that one jumped out. Ten of Swords, more worry, but this is a Darkness Before the Dawn card, although it is reversed. I think this is more of an internal worry, and for that matter it fits quite nicely over there. As you can see, the dawn is right behind the character over there. He's lying on the ground feeling pretty, I guess, tired of it all. But this card is basically saying hang in there because it's gonna be okay ultimately. We're gonna see a good change eventually. You'll just have to wait and perhaps also work for it. But it's definitely there. Don't give up. That's what the Ten of Swords is saying. Still not really saying who it is. Okay, we've got Justice in reverse. We've got, so is this, the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, and we've got the Five of Wands. Again, Five of Wands, but this time upright. Now, Five of Wands upright is conflict, but it doesn't have to be, it could be a sparring match, actually. It's at least outward conflict, so that might also be the result of this, like we're going to be entering certain conflicts around the world. There is definitely some trouble going on with China and Iran. This one I find in particular very interesting because this is basically a almost a reaping what you sow card, and it's kind of like this has been worked on for some time and might not be what you like because a lot of people are going to feel injustice has been done. But is it really that unexpected? That's what I'm saying. Like, let's go ahead and see if we can get anything else. Six of Swords reversed. We have the Ace of Wands upright. Oh, that's interesting because it was reversed here. 10 of Staves, or Wands. Staves, it says over here. What else do we have? Because we've got quite a lot here. This is the Hierophant in reverse. Okay. Strength in reverse. And we got here Knight of Pentacles, Two of Cups reversed, and the King of Wands also reversed. Okay. Okay. Right. I'm not really sure about the Six of Swords here. We got the Two of Cups is back and it's in reverse this time. So it is somebody, I think, that is not your friend is the first thing that comes to mind. Also, we have here Knight of Pentacles in reverse. I think that means very careless spending. Strength in reverse. Somebody who doesn't have a lot of strength, whether it be physical or in character-wise. Think. Also, the Hierophant is in reverse, which is also an interesting thing to note because the Hierophant is usually somebody who represents like powers that be, some type of a law and order, yeah, that type of person. And in reverse could be that he may appear as that, but doesn't actually have all this power, or may turn out to be more of a wet blanket. I don't know. Either way, they're not going to do what people expect them, or they appear as though they wouldn't be able to do it. Let's see. I've got here the King of Wands in reverse. It's kind of like looking at this. If I were to look at this, these two combined here, I think this is the two candidates. I think this somehow is Biden, and because it's also next to the Strength reverse, that gives me the impression that that's Biden. And then over here we've got the King of Wands, which is somebody who's very actionable, but perhaps does not always perform the correct actions. So I think this is definitely a trump card over here, the trump card, lol. So I'm gonna put this back down. We have here the 10 of Wands, which is taking on quite a burden. That also, these three in particular, make me think of Biden right now, because it's no secret that Biden's not doing great mentally. We've had a lot of things coming from him that don't sound like they make a lot of sense, if you know what I mean. And if you see these three combined here, because being a president takes a lot out of you. I've seen like pictures of Obama after a couple of years being president. He looks much older. And here we go. So this is carrying a lot of burden, and this says reduced strength. Hierophant is in reverse. So it's kind of like being a president is quite a burden, and he might not be able to take that. I think that might be, at least some people might think that. That's what makes me think that might be old Joe Biden from this perspective. We don't know that, obviously. We do have Ace of Wands here, meaning lots of new ideas and new initiatives. And then we have the Six of Swords in reverse. And Six of Swords is like you see the path here being guided somewhere, and basically taking a passive role in it. That's why it also kind of is reversed. He's not determining where he's going, and some people are calling it like the campaign that Biden is running almost like elder abuse, because is he really capable? They're like railroading him there. I mean, he still has his old politician thing, of course. Like, he is a politician through and through. He knows what to say when he's clear enough to know what he's saying. But the other days, there's some things where he confuses certain people. I don't know too much about him, really, but what I've seen makes it seem like he's being pushed in a certain direction. And there's lots of ideas perhaps behind the throne, but the person himself, not sure if they're going to make it. But what I'm seeing here, at least what I think, what I'm seeing here is that we're going to see a Biden win, as far as I can tell. At least that's what this current lineup tells me. And that may or may not be a good thing, because I see a lot of people not really enjoying this. And there's also injustice here, so who knows what the result is going to be. Doesn't look too great, too awesome. Let's see if we can get anything about the years after, like what type of presidency are we gonna see. Let's just draw a few cards on the presidency that follows from the 2020 elections. What type of vibe? Oops, 3 at the same time. Or is it 4? No, it's 3. Okay. We got here, this is the Six of Swords in reverse again, because we had that here already. So again, with the being railroaded, there's a potentiality that what we're going to see in the ways of policies is not going to be his, or we're going to see people being led a certain way. Maybe travel bans as well, if you look at this. All sorts of possibilities. We have here the Star reverse, so we might see a star go down in popularity, not doing too great. People may be very disillusioned, I think. And we got the Tower in reverse also, and I can think furthers the disillusionment that people might be feeling with the Star in reverse over here. We're going to see a lot of disappointments and a lot of inner turmoil, I think. We've already got a lot of turmoil on the outside, obviously, but it's going to be even more so. So that's great. Love that. Anything else? Just a few more cards, maybe, and then we'll call it a day. So the presidency from 2020 to 2024, whomever it may be. One of them flew out. And it is 7 of Pentacles by the looks of things, and a very dark 7 of Pentacles. Failure is even what it says at the bottom. See that? Okay, so I don't think I need to explain too much about that card. This looks like a big nope. So whoever it is that wins, it's not going to be a great 4 years, and maybe we won't even make it through 4 years, because failure being the last card that I draw as the vibe of the presidency makes it seem like, oh, we might not even make it through there, or they might not even make it. It might be a very interesting next 4 years. Not that we're already looking at interesting next 4 years, but maybe even more so. So that is what I'm getting. Hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to leave your comments in the comment section below. Also leave a like if you could, that'd be great. Really helps the channel along. Once again, like I said in the beginning, if you see like a line up here that you would explain differently, or that you see something else in it which you think is important to note, leave that in a comment as well. Either way, thanks for watching, and bye bye for now.